Welcome to F1 Bro Science Podcast from Chicago to Los Angeles.
And here we are, once again, for everyone's listening pleasures. We have Dustin 2.0 on video this time, so we can see. I don't know if you really want to see it, but here we go. What's happening, Louisiana?
Man, I don't know if it's a whole lot or not a lot, but I don't know if it's a compliment or an insult that you wanted to have the video to go along with my voice. So I don't know if it's a compliment to my looks or an insult to what I have to say.
Hey, whatever's clever, man. Just roll with it.
Got to be a little bit of
No, I'm very honored that you guys brought me back. I haven't seen a group of slackers take such initiative like you two have. It's pretty impressive what you guys have going on now.
Yeah, the first time we talked with you, you had the video going, the TV in the background, which you got somebody's ugly mug on there right now, but you had all that going, and it kind of got us inspired a little bit. I'm like, I need to step it up and do a better job, and so I worked on this place in the back of my house for about a week, trying to screw around with it. And
I saw what you had. You sent me a couple pictures of it. I was impressed with the way you built the desk. You wrapped it just like a race boat and everything. Like in a couple years after you bang into it a couple times, you're gonna have to replace the decks on your desk.
Yeah, it's got marine grade plywood on the top, and then everything else in here is just the cheap $8 wood from Home Depot. It was all block, and I skinned it to try and kind of make it look more like a race boat or something.
No, that's what we did in our shop. We had a couple of areas like this that we put, nice things around and built stuff around, but the rest of it is all Wesley Cheatham trailer paneling, and then all the racks and shelves that go in front of it. So whatever would hold the insulation behind it at the cheapest amount is what I bought for the rest of it.
There you go, man. That's all it needs. You got I see the big-ass TV with Spencer's grill right there.
Oh,
what do you got going on with that?
It looks big, but I'm very close to it. I'm right here. I can touch the Fu Manchu.
That's Stashville, man. That's where it all began.
Yeah, this race right here. I don't know if you guys can even hear any of it. Can you hear all that?
This is actually the course where I bought this boat last year.
You ever heard somebody be so professional?
I had my new boat at when I got it last year. So it's a tight course. It's a lot of fun. It's different because we do the rolling start, but it's a different challenge. It's a lot of fun.
This is really cool because you can go on YouTube and just watch all these videos. It's awesome. Look how beautiful that mustache is. We're in Gulfport in the last heat in the final. The boat went up in the air. Hit the next roller. The back. Oh well, yeah. This is all we do in our shop is we sit here and watch all these videos all day long, and NGK does a pretty good job of having all the content you want to watch out there now. They kind of, after it's over with, they just keep posting stuff, and you kind of forget what happens in the races until you go back and watch them, and then you realize there's a bunch of fun stuff going on. Look at Ruben right there. Old has-been.
Where's he been hiding?
Man, I wish he would get back in and race, but he's such a good official now that that's what he's doing. John Schubert won't let him go. I tried to bring him in to be my team manager this year, and he was all for it. And then whenever he talked to John about it, John shut the whole thing down. But I don't blame him. Everybody loves Ruben on the dock.
Yeah, Ruben's really good with dealing with people and keeping peace and making everybody happy, and I don't know, telling us all what we want to hear, but helping the race go, and he does a really good job.
He's like all of us. He's really, really laid back, but he also knows what the teams get frustrated with. From you get an official who might know specs and might know all that stuff, but hasn't been a part of a team and knows what it takes to just get the boat into the water. Well, Ruben has kind of these little tendencies, but he also looks out for the teams whenever something's happening on the dock. He might see something that he could go and rat on somebody for a prop cover or something like that, and he's not going to tell somebody to put a prop cover on. He might pull a towel off of somebody's trailer and throw it on there for him and just be like, hey, bring that towel back to that guy and next time bring it back or whatever. He's just that kind of guy.
Yeah, I think that this weekend NGK is going to put some stuff on Facebook. I believe some highlights from last year's Port Neches race, or I don't know. They're doing something special. I think for us to watch this weekend. I'm excited about
that would be cool, man. It's just cool to see. I know everybody submits a lot of footage over to them, and it's always cool at the end of the year whenever they play the highlights and you see all that stuff going on. We just go back and watch a bunch of it, man. I try to record it and put it on the little hard drive, so that way whenever I'm an old man, if my kids ever want to look at it, they can see that, like, I did something cool for once in my life. But, if not, they might just – I'm pretty sure they're all tired of it.
Right, and that when you're in the middle of it racing, you're really not in the moment. You look back like, oh, wow, that's cool. You get to see it on video, where when you're there in the moment, it's like, okay, I'm here dealing with this, like crashing boats and rocks and whatnot.
Hey, look, you can mention that all you want. I think I can find that real quick.
I know you can.
Oh, look, first try. There you are.
Hey, who's that, man?
It's almost like you studied it and paid attention to what minute it
You know
happened at.
exactly what damn minute that was. Stop. You know how many times?
No, that was pretty lucky that it popped up as quick as it did. I knew about where it was at, but this one hurts, man. That was a very, very good prop on the back of that thing that belonged to Kevin McCullough. And
that's not a jet ski on the beach there.
Hey, at least you were okay, man. Well, I guess that's ultimately what we're happy about. I'd rather you break a bone and my prop be okay.
I tell you what, man, hitting rocks at 100 miles an hour was I can't even explain it. I don't want anyone else to try it, but unless you've done it, I can't explain it.
I wouldn't know what to do. You try to turn the other way and bury the throttle to make it turn, but you're all like the rocks. You can already see how deep they are right here. So you're like, I'm just gonna smoke everything in the lower unit, or do I just hope that like I bounce off of something and land in some soft dirt? Or
that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, wow, that's a really expensive gear case that just got thrashed. And a prop.
Yeah.
Hopefully I throw a rod through a motor for locking it up. But
that one's fun, man. You're never going to live that one down. Every time somebody posts a picture of a boat on land, your boat gets posted right after it.
Oh, standard. There's no getting out of that one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, when that buoy wrapped around that gear case and that thing hooked that right turn, it's like, oh, wait, we're going to go up in the trees. At least I'm right side up. And that boat did its job, man. I walked away. My shoulder hurt a little bit from that sudden stop, but hey, we fixed it. We raced. Hell, that boat's still racing today.
Is that why your shoulder looks like it does?
It does. That's what happened right there. That seatbelt done tore my shoulder up.
Yeah, I bet. A big knob inside of there. It looks like you got a door handle inside of your shirt.
Yeah, Gavin's got that gear case sitting on the floor of his bedroom. I'm like, dude, I'm going to stab you with that thing. What, there's nothing sharp enough to do it with?
I bet not. Bunch of blunt metal on that thing.
Yeah, it's junk.
So you had an exciting week this week, huh, Dustin?
Man, I had... Oh, wait. My air compressor just kicked on.
That
Sounds like a force.
You're gonna have to wait for about 20 pounds of pressure for it to kick off.
It's not too bad.
It sounds like it's from the 20s, man. Go oil that shit.
So we were planning on coming out there this week, but it didn't exactly work out. I don't know. Dustin probably can't hear that good.
I don't know if y'all can hear it on the microphone or not. I can't hear you guys.
It's not too bad. So we're planning a trip out there to Texas, and Dustin was going to come pick us up, and he'll tell you all about that. But we flew somebody in earlier in the week to try and see what the travel restrictions were like, and they got there.
Hold on, maybe I can go kick it off.
The day before, we were supposed to fly in and got all this paperwork to fill out, and saw the paperwork and said, "Yeah, we're not doing this. I said, if you can get on a plane and come home and fly back home, let's do that," because it was 14-day quarantine if we stayed in Texas, and I think they finally dropped all the restrictions and loosened everything up today. But we were supposed to fly in.
Yeah,
yesterday.
they dropped the restrictions 24 hours after the whole party got canceled. So it was pretty much a bummer. But I think our second plan is going to work out better. I didn't hear. anything you said before because the air compressor was pumping. But
we were just talking about Tony at the airport, and I was trying to lead into you and what you did this week. I didn't talk about what you did this week, so you can tell us about that.
I guess we sat down and got on one of our couple times a week FaceTime calls that we all get in on because I guess we all miss each other that much. I think the whole thing started with you, Spencer, saying that you saw that Austin Cheatham had posted a picture of a limo with horns on it and how cool it was or whatever. And then I think I said, man, you can get those super cheap, really quick online. You're like, no way. And then it went from there that about 10 minutes later we had this huge game plan that I was going to go purchase a limo and I was going to come pick y'all up. Y'all were still going to come into town for the Port Neches boat race. And we were just going to drive around town and host podcasts and do whatever we could do with a limousine after that. Maybe strap some J Hydros onto it and bring it to boat races. So I went –
We justified this whole thing because the price of the limo was right about $2,000, and we figured, okay, we're going to have to get at least 2 rental cars when we go out there because all the people we were planning on bringing us. I said, okay, about $500-600 maybe for a rental car for the weekend. So if we go out there and use the thing a couple weekends and we all chip in on it, this whole thing will make sense. This is a great idea.
It'll make sense.
This is a great idea.
So it'll pay for itself. But so that was our original price that we were looking at, and then we got so excited about it. I think our budget at one point we were showing each other like $5,000 limos and stuff, and we went back and forth, and I went everywhere. I spent more time getting burned on limos from people that it seemed like every person I tried to purchase one from, it was a guy that his wife had posted it on Facebook because she wanted it out of the driveway. And she had nothing but great things to say about the limo, and then whenever I showed up, the AC was stuck on heat, the windows wouldn't roll down, the fuel pumps were filled with water, the gas tanks were filled with leaves, and I'm sitting there trying to tell them I'll figure it out, just sell it to me for half the price or whatever. And the guys are arguing that they want to keep the limo. The wives are sell it for a quarter of what we made the deal for, and nobody would sell me the limo. Well, finally I found this bodybuilder in Alabama.
Hold up.
and I had given up on it. I had just about given up on it because we had talked about the whole trip was going to be canceled and all that. Well, Tim Kraft had ordered the bull horns
before we even got the limo. I was on the phone with Tim. I said, the limo that we're looking at doesn't have horns. And before I could even say anything, he's like, oh, I found some. Oh, we need Dustin's address. I'm shipping them.
Yeah. So these bull horns show up. My wife sends me a message. What did you order now? What could? Oh yeah, that's the bodybuilder. Hey, he went and followed us on Facebook and all that, so he's probably going to see his own picture now. He wants to see where his limo's going in the future.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't say any.
It's going places.
But he'll probably be pretty happy about the conversation we had. I gave him a 5-star rating on the limo, by the way. But I find that guy. The horn showed up at the house, and I lost all my momentum. And whenever I pull them out of the package, and they're enormous, I got so excited. I went online. I found the car in 5 minutes. I sent a message to him that I'll be there tomorrow in Alabama. Just hold it for me. He's like, no problem. And went out there and met with him, and it was everything he said it was and more. The limo is fantastic. Oh, everybody's going to see it at every boat race from here on out. All the lights work. My in-laws came by for a crab boil today. After the crab boil was over with, everybody loaded up in the limo. We took it around town. All the kids are bouncing around, playing all the LEDs and the lights and all that. You guys are going to see it at every boat race after this. That thing is awesome.
Your daughter, Dad, my blanket's in the car. Can you go get it? I looked all around that car. I can't find it. She goes out there and looks in the limo. And where was it at?
It was. She had put it in the. They have the champagne holders that are behind the seats. and all that, like sort of the bottle of champagne to stick up behind your head. And I wasn't looking behind the seat. She had found that there was something like that, and she had tucked stuffed animals in the little ice holders. She has stuff hidden all over inside of that limo. And sure enough, she went out there, and she just grabbed it up and rolled right back out. So she's been spending, 6-7 hours in it every day. I got to make sure the windows are open or that it's turned on.
I heard there was a bee's nest.
The coolest part is, like, she didn't know what a limo was. She just said, "This is the longest car in the entire world, and it's ours." So she's so excited, man.
Hey, let's hear about the bee's nest.
What's that?
The bee's nest.
No, it was a yellow jacket nest or a hornet nest or something. I came out of the back door and one popped me on the leg. I thought it was a wasp out in my yard or something, and I didn't know anything about it. And I just didn't think anything of it. And then Katie came outside. We were gonna take the limo to go pick up hibachi. They just opened up the Japanese place again. So we were going to take the limo to go pick it up, and we opened up the side of it, and there was a yellow jacket nest right inside the door, and that's what had popped me. So I had to sit out there and spray them, and Katie went and picked up dinner. So we didn't get to go party. I had to do some more maintenance on it, but that's the only maintenance I've had to do is spray out some yellow jackets.
Yeah, in a few weeks we're going to have a party.
I think it's Memorial Weekend, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I guess we've rescheduled that whole entire party, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to get it done.
We're hoping to do at least 1 to 3 podcasts that weekend, different places we go and talk to different people around Texas, and hopefully give a perspective on a little bit of the stuff that we do behind the scenes at racing and the fun stuff that, I don't know, the stuff that ties us all together.
Yeah, there's some cool things to be seen the second you cross the Louisiana border. There's, 4 or 5 different places where people are working on things that you don't see. That's probably the tightest cluster of tunnel boat racing people from Houston to Beaumont. So you can go into 7 or 8 different little places and see a ton of history and boat racing stuff. So hopefully we can bounce around to all those in the limo and pick up some cool people and maybe a couple of cool parts along the way.
Oh, you know it. We're going to have a good time. I was so ready to be there this weekend. Like, damn. All right. I guess we'll do it in 3, 4, whatever the hell it is. But basically a month from now.
Yeah,
we were all excited to go, but whenever y'all started seeing the videos of how cool the limo was on the way back, I know y'all got real upset y'all couldn't make it out here.
Yeah, it was pretty depressing. It was within 5 minutes of Tony getting to the airport and making the decision of, hey, you need to turn around and just come back because I don't want to see you get stuck quarantined there for 14 days and the cops checking on you, the possible $1,000 fine, 180 days or whatever it said in jail. I said, I don't want to, we don't need to deal with any of that. If you can get on a plane and come home, come home. And then I told him,
yeah,
I said, hey,
no, you guys made the right call, but it was, I'll tell you, like, no joking that, yeah, I had told you guys, like, man, around noon we were thinking to be out there, but tornadoes rolled through my town and all that, and it kind of delayed us by about 2 hours. I pulled out of the guy's house. We wasn't far off of I-10. It was 2 stop signs that brought me to I-10 from his house. You called me at the second stop sign after I just left his house to say the weekend's not going to happen and all that. And the title wasn't even in the glove box yet. It was still on the passenger seat. And I just put it in the glove box, and the phone rings, and I'm like, oh, he's just checking to see if I got this thing or not. And no, the weekend was canceled, but that was the best thing that could have happened. We're going to party with that thing nonstop for 3 weeks.
Well, it definitely lasted an extra 2 weeks longer than it would have, for sure.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Hopefully it lasts longer than that, but we'll see what happens with it.
Oh,
yeah, I think it'd be real easy to strap, like, at least 2 J Hydros on the roof of it and let that the trunk is enormous, so I can fit like 5 J motors in the back of it. And we go to the race in that, and I mean, the drivers, I can fit 18 J Hydro drivers inside of it. So,
Yeah, with Coca-Cola and Sprite. No worries. That's cheap.
oh yeah, as long as I get Annabelle's blanket out of the champagne tray, we could fit all the soda we want in it.
Yeah. Does it have a big cooler in it? Or we got to throw a Yeti in it?
It has, well, we're going to put like I'll put big coolers in it and stuff, but it has multiple coolers. Like, if no matter where you sit in it, you could reach a cooler. So you'll have like a mini cooler here with 3 beers in it, or mini cooler here with 3 beers in it. You can fit everything is within hand's reach.
So are we
awesome.
still putting stickers on the limo, or is it going to be too nice to put stickers all over it? I don't know if we're going to be able to get Tim to give us serious stickers for it or not.
No, this thing is going to be long enough to fit all the stickers that this series could ever want to put down the bottom of it. Down the bottom, down the side. They can put whatever stickers they want on it, man. It's long enough to accommodate all of them. So it's going to be cool. So I can't wait. I sent a message to Timmy about it that I was ready to sticker this thing up. The more I could put on it, the better. Because the guy who sold it to me kept talking about, we would take we would take the kids to this and this to prom and whatever. I said, this thing ain't going to any of that stuff. It's going to boat races. It's going to be stickered up. It's going to have, parts hung all over it. It's going to be awesome. So
yeah, you said the cruise control works and it rides nice going down the freeway. You said you're doing 70, 75 down the freeway in it?
So I was only doing that because I don't know the laws with a limo. So I kept everything 5 miles an hour, within the speed limit. It easily can roll 85, 90. It's like just driving a large bullet, It's just cutting through the wind. It's got all the balance you could ever need because it's so long. There's no drag on that thing. It's just so stretched out. It's perfect.
I'm so excited to get in that damn thing and drink and sit in the back. We got to get like a designated driver called Tony.
Oh, we'll definitely have a designated driver for sure. But
safety first.
Absolutely. It has seatbelts everywhere. It has those little lap belts that go all over the limo.
That'll keep us safe. As long as we're safe, it doesn't matter. We're good.
No, so I got a good idea that we can take our Hans devices and put those on with our helmets, and then take those lap belts and maybe throw them over each other's shoulders, and maybe that'll hold us in if we actually get into an accident.
Or lock arms.
Yeah. Put your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye.
Oh, I cannot wait. This is going to be the most epic weekend, and the messed up part is my boat will be here, Spencer's boat will be there, but we have a limo. Who gives a shit? It's all good.
Yeah, it'll be fun because originally you guys were supposed to fly into Texas, so this time you guys will get to fly into New Orleans, and then we'll all shuttle over to Texas, and that'll be the way to do it. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah, that'll be a good ride.
So good. We're going to have podcasting live in a limo. Come on. Who does that?
Man, so how many podcasts have you guys actually had so far?
This is number 6, I believe.
It's number 3 with video.
Yeah, 3 with video. 6. We got some more stuff in the works, definitely, coming up.
Yeah, what else y'all have in the works?
We have a few guests coming up. I won't put their names out yet till we officially get them, but they definitely want to be on, which is cool. That's really good start once they get here, or podcast.
Well, man, you guys kind of took a different take on it and started doing the podcasting thing with a more relaxed vibe. Everybody's doing a great job with all the content that they've been creating, and you guys kind of created something different. It seems like y'all are poking into all those things at the same time. It seems like you guys are getting pretty popular pretty quick.
Well, we hope so. It's been fun. I mean, we just try to get to the laid-back side of this thing, the outside of it. Like, everybody obviously knows that we all play with race boats. That's cool. That's great. But there's another side to it, like when the boats are on the trailer and the lights go down, beers get cracked, and fun happens. That's kind of going with
we're
it.
not the suit and tie part of it. We definitely appreciate everything that everybody else does, and that's a tough deal to be. I don't know, more corporate about everything and have to worry more, more about everything you say. I mean, we don't want to upset anybody, but we want to try and have something a little, we want to show the after hours part of boat racing a little bit, not too much of it, but a little bit.
Yeah, the lighter side.
Yeah. Let's not show whenever things get out of hand. But I think you guys are definitely showing the side that you don't have to think about too much. You just kind of being yourselves. And I know everybody's wanting to create content that can be advertised, but let's be honest, you want to see people's real personalities, and you don't get to it without having just a little bit of fun and telling people to relax a little bit.
Right. That's the best part about it. Like, yeah, everybody's got, to be the professional part, which we all are, because that's why we're in this. But we also are still
that's
people.
why the first podcast that we did with you that was 2 hours long, we edited down to a half hour because a lot of it wasn't very professional because we took it over the edge on that one. So we found some boundaries with that one that we did with you, and there's a lot of funny footage, but not really appropriate footage that we had from that one. So I mean,
no, there's definitely some points in there where I think I woke up the next day like, man, I hope they check with me before they post everything that we talked about, because there are times where we're just having way too much fun, and like, I'm sure everybody would love to hear all the stuff we were talking about, but we don't want that just ingrained forever. Nobody out there wants their entire lives put onto camera. And I think whenever the three of us get together, or a good bit of us, we kind of all trust each other and start cutting up and being ourselves.
Yeah, right. No, it took a good 8+ hours to edit that for the first one, for the audio podcast that we did. And then we said, okay, if we're doing video, we need to try to do a lot better job, because I don't know how the video editing works, and it's pretty impossible. But at least we're not doing anything live because we want to be able to listen to it and watch it before we air it, because we want it to be on the edge of, having fun, but we want to make sure that we don't slip up and offend anybody either. So
keep it professional.
Well, a lot of people can come in and do this, and you don't want somebody to get taken advantage of in a moment or whatever. You want people to be able to trust you while you're doing this, and y'all seem to be doing it. Y'all seem to be doing it that way, where people can trust you while the interview is going on. You don't want to bring Chris Fairchild in, who doesn't drink, and be like, "Hey, Chris, what's the dirtiest thing you hear as APBA president?" Like, you're not gonna put him on the spot like that, but he's gonna have some funny stories to tell whenever that happens.
For sure, I'll let that cat out of the bag. He's gonna be on. It'll be a good one. I told him, I said, we got to be a little bit more professional when you're on, because you are the prez of the whole APBA. He's like, whatever.
No, whoa. There's one thing you don't have to be with Chris, and that's professional.
Absolutely. We all know it. I mean, we know Chris, but, some people that watch this just want to see the insides of it. Like, Chris
If they want to see the insides of it, strap a GoPro onto my head, because I got to watch that guy strip down to his underwear every time he puts on his driving suit before he goes out there. I don't know what happens. I turn the corner and there he is, man. He's just down to his skivvies, and he'll just have a conversation with you. I guess that's just what Chris likes to do. He likes to be in his underwear before the race to really relax.
That's the funny part. Is like, the three of us get dressed in the back of Kevin's trailer. I just put my driver's suit over my shorts and my T-shirt. I look over like, all right, Dustin's. We're kind of all three looking at each other, and me and Dustin are like, oh, all right, cool, whatever. You do you.
Oh man, Chris has been doing this forever, man. I love all that. But hey, look, I have a question, not for you guys, but for one of you. Check this out. So I can take my iPad and I can pull up all kinds of video here. I got a question. I'll tell you what, you guys tell me who this question's going to be for.
You're high tech over there, Dustin. Oh, man.
I want to know what's going on right here. Let me see if I can turn that up. I want to know what happens here. I see some odd things going on.
Right, period. Oh, boy, that gets tight.
Oh, looks like they bumped there.
Oh, they did. And up and over goes a 93 of R.J. West.
And Spencer Love involved in that. Boy, two brand new boats. And like they bumped there.
Oh, they did.
Let's see it one more time.
The shape of the right-handers we watched from Spencer Love's boat, or is it just the fact that you have to turn right, period? Oh, boy, that gets tight.
Oh, looks like they bumped there.
Oh, they did.
Oh,
and
man.
up and over goes a 93
It's
of
like
R.J.
some tri-hole
West.
stuff, man.
And Spencer Love involved.
Well, the
So
bad
what's-
part is
what's-
I feel like if I answer that, I'm not really going to lose anything because I'm not going to lose any friends by saying what I'd have to say. But, you know, he and I both have our opinions about that, and we both feel very strongly, I'm sure, about what happened. And, you know, there's things that everybody can do differently, but, man, I don't know. I've seen bits and pieces of this. You touched a nerve on this one. I don't want to get too into it. I really don't want to say too much, to be honest.
Now, look. So people have to know what your perspective is of it. You don't have to get into detail on what you think about a person or anything like that. But obviously, to me, it's a racing incident going into a right-hander. Like these things are going to happen, and
with me and him on a race course together, it seems like there's always this, I don't know, some kind of magnet that attracts us to each other, and no matter what we do, we're going to end up, I don't know, on top of each other. You know, I've known him since I was 13. He gave me a ride, and I used to race J Hydro and A Hydro, and that's the biggest, fastest boat that I had that I was able to race. And I was at a race, and he offered me a ride in an OSY 400, and I got to go for a ride in it, and it was really neat. And we'd go snowboarding together. I mean, he and I had a lot of fun together over the years. I mean, I'd go up to his house 5 times a year. It's a shame that he and I are both very competitive, and it's come to the point that it is where we aren't as close as we used to be. But yeah, I don't know.
Look,
I feel
I'll
like
tell you
he
this
thought
one.
I was going to back out and just
in a
give
driving situation. I have this same. I won't even. I hate to put it out there because you don't even want to talk about it. That you have some sort of. I have no animosity towards anybody, but it seems like every time I get into it with somebody or something like that, I always seem to tap decks with Johnny Fleming. Like, it just seems to happen. He makes the best ice cream in the pits. I love going over there. Everything
Sweetest
about
mom.
it.
Sweetest
but
mom.
like, at the end of the day, those little bitty things are not going to go away. And we show up to the race knowing that we've all brought what we put all of our effort into, and all of us drivers, not that there's this huge ego out of any one of us, but like we're all gonna be right whenever it comes down to there being a problem on the race course. We all aren't gonna believe that we weren't putting in our best effort whenever an accident happened. But I think there's some people that they're dismissive of that, or they forget that we're all cut from that same grain. So they begin to push your buttons, or they begin to say you're wrong or whatever. And I think the drivers that don't get into fist fights, or I don't know what it's all going to bring. There's drivers coming in from everywhere, and I'm pretty sure you're going to begin to see more and more and more of people getting paired up against each other like this.
No, I mean, I went up to Chris after Colorado because I ended up close to him every heat, and it was, I'd get close, and then he'd shut me down. I'd get close, and he'd shut me down. And it was a fun weekend, but it was frustrating. And I came up to him after one of the heats. I said, "Hey, you do that again, I'm not backing out of it. I'm just going to run into you." And at the end of the weekend, you know, I kind of went over to him. I said, "Hey, you know, the reality of it is you taught me a few things. I learned a few things from some of the stuff you did with me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make adjustments later. And you taught me a few things that I'm going to use on other people probably, and you beat me, and that's why I came up to you and told you that, hey, if you do it again, I'm going to run into the back of you because I'm not just going to back out and let you stay in front of me. But he outdrove me, and that's why I went up to him and talked to him. And, I've talked to him since then, and as far as I know, we're still okay and we're still friends. But I was frustrated. I went to him and said, hey, I'm going to run into you next time. And I don't know. That's racing, though. And, I mean, 10 minutes later, I'm fine and, realized that he outdrove me this weekend. And that's why I was frustrated with him. It wasn't I was frustrated because he did anything wrong, but he outsmarted me, and that frustrated me.
Well, and that's what's ultimately going to happen. And whenever you allow somebody to do it to you and you back down from it, you're not going to come back from it. You're going to become that guy that every single time Chris would have gone up and say, you don't have to worry about Spencer. All you got to do is just, drag the edge of your deck right by his nose and he's going to back down. Well, that conversation is never going to happen now. So all of a sudden, all these little edges are going to begin to smoothen out, and you're just going to have elite people. And I think ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to have people with a lot of money who don't care about their equipment and don't care about destroying it, and it's going to get – but I don't know that our team would ever get to that because I have no concerns about running somebody over out of anger. I would never be that way. But I hear stories of it, and I guess tension can build and it can do whatever. But I think
well, that's
this
the bad
sport's
part
about to
this
see
podcast.
the most competitive classes you've ever, like the most competitive groups you've ever seen now, and it's going to be a huge test of egos.
That's the bad part about this podcast is it makes it harder for us to, I don't know, make some moves against each other because you're out there in the boat and you're thinking, oh, yeah, we did a podcast with Dustin the other day. Like, I'm going to give him a half a lane.
No, look, hey, I don't know if you guys have a little bleep button, but fuck that. You guys, there is, I am the worst person whenever it comes to rules and APBA. I've never even been to one of these meetings where they talk about rules and all that stuff. If I had to have a set of rules, there would be no commitment buoy. There would be no bearing away. There would be no this and that and whatever. It would be go out there and take care of yourself and figure it out and have a driver's respect. And then once a certain driver starts to get out of line, the drivers take care of it. I have never been mad at anyone ever at a boat race for any move that they have ever done.
So you're saying you're not big on commitment?
No, I'm married. I'm married. I have no problem with that. But and don't get me started on commitment with you. All right. So but you don't like the whole rule thing. It's ridiculous. Read what the other driver is doing and make a decision that's best for yourself. You'll be fine. Like the guys who make up these rules because they need a lane to the first buoy or we got to hold our lanes through the first 3 turns. Why do I need to give up space for somebody who's slower than me? It's ridiculous. You see me in your windshield and your mirror. Quit whining and let's go to work. If you get passed by one guy, learn how to back down and get out of the situation.
Right, get out of the way. But again, once you strap that helmet on and put that lid down, you grow horns. Like we're all really good friends, but when we come up to that first turn, like I don't want to piss you off, but if there's a hole, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, but you can say that all you want, but I've had to have serious conversations with my wife and my kids about what I do, and there's certain risks I'm willing to take and certain ones that I'm not. But I find myself getting up there towards the front, and it's not because I'm taking any crazy risk or anything like that. It's just you have to learn the other drivers and you got to do your research. And you're not going to gain anything by being the guy who goes and complains to officials. Leave them alone. Just do your thing, and you get thrown out, so what?
Don't tell everybody the secret.
I got thrown out of Springfield. You saw it. I got tagged on some stuff. I had no idea what it even was at the time. And so what? You didn't hear me out there talking smack and saying, I'm upset because of blah, blah, blah. No, we showed back up in orange. A couple weeks later, we had our shit together, and we qualified in the front, and we did what we were supposed to do. Shake it off, go to the next race, and forget about it. It's ridiculous. Just move on from it.
Agreed. Yeah, it's racing. That's what we do. You don't go out there to, we're all friends, but once we get in that boat, it's race time.
Right. And you know what? One thing I learned a long time ago, and it was whenever they had boat racing facts and all that. I don't know if you guys knew anything about that.
Yeah.
It was like a website where everybody would go and type all these things in and whatever. Well, I didn't know anything about boat racing, and before I knew it, my name was getting on it all the time for try holes, and people were just like, if we got into it at that race, that's the first thing they did. They went to that website and talked smack about me and whatever. And I would sit there and I'd think about, man, how do I respond to that? I have to defend myself. And I'm the type of person, I'll sit there, I'll write it out, I'll think about it, and everything like that. By the time I did all that, 3 other people that I didn't even know came to my defense. So that's irrelevant. The person that's going to stand on his soapbox and do all that, let them do it. People know what the truth is out there. Just go out there and do your thing.
Keyboard badasses. Ever since the social media, we got them. Basement. That's the basement badasses.
So not to burst your guys' bubble, but we're about 40 minutes now, so we can keep going, but just keep in mind we hit the 40-minute mark. So
we got to do
I feel like we hit a couple good topics though.
Yeah, no, we can keep going, but if we
Well, do you get to edit any of this down, or does it just go straight over?
We're gonna go straight over. We're not that smart anymore to edit video. Audio we can edit.
Listen, if you know how to
was there any other questions y'all had for me?
No, just get ready for the weekend of the Memorial Day.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a lot of fun, and I feel like if anybody has any good questions for anybody that rolls across Texas or any of that, figure it out and send those questions. But until then,
Bear assistant,
get yourself some Gator Bites Satsuma rum, because I'd love to do a shot with you guys.
I am so ready for the damn trip. Yeah, I cannot wait.
Well, my oldest daughter got molds from the craft store, I believe, to make shot glasses, and she made me one that says, "Bro Science."
That's awesome. Hey, when are you guys gonna open up a merchandise shop?
Well, we got stickers on the way, but for some reason they were in production. But that's the last email I got. It's been 20 days and I haven't got nothing back. We got stickers coming. We want to get some shirts and hats. If anybody's wanting some, cool. But
hey, I don't need any shirts or hats. I just need mud flaps for that limo. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. That was a great podcast. We're going to go do some podcasts in Louisiana, Texas area in a few weeks. Got a few more guests coming up in the next few days, actually. So we're going to get some. Hopefully put out a few more before we get down there. Well, we're going to put out a few more, but I know Kevin Posh is going to be one of our guests on the 8th. He's been around boat racing for a long time as a crew guy, knows a lot of stuff. Give him a little interview here and there. And then after that, we're going to do what we got to do. I hope everybody enjoys it. Have a good time.